By the veteran quarterback out of NC State, it's Phillip Rivers.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it in the middle of the schedule.
Back, 380, 190. Undercrunch.
A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Rivers now. That is incomplete.
Normally he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10.
White, 85. White, 85.
From the gun, a run for Johnson. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, really limited to on 3rd down, you're a little off balance.
And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. 3rd down conversion here is big.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Rivers on the money, complete. Down the numbers. There he goes. Touchdown, Falcons. Curtis Samuel, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it. Get the football to start the game and score it.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Dan Bailey now for the extra point. It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. That time a 6-play drive, and the Falcons score to cap it off. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. Leading the charge at quarterback, the former Georgia Bulldog, Matthew Stafford.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it in the middle of the schedule. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Luke Kuechly combines speed, intelligence, toughness, puts it all together. It makes plays like one we just saw there. He may not be a big-time blitzer, but, boy, he knows how to pursue straight ahead and make plays in the run game.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And that's incomplete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. So instead of 4th down, 1st down.
Well, so much for winning the down you put a lot of emphasis on, because 3rd down is key for offense and defense. Instead, you're going to stay on the field and start a new set of downs.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. There he goes right side. Touchdown, New Orleans. Andy Isabella, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field, and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
Will Lutz on for the point after. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal... The biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs, so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. A second down throw for Rivers. He's going to find his tight end Boyle. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them Chance to let it develop a little bit. You can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Now Rivers. He's going to look deep down the field. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Falcons. Curtis Samuel with his second touchdown of this opening quarter. And the Falcons have taken the lead. Seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted. And now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. Here's Bailey now for the extra point. It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the first quarter. So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now a throw here on second down, and that's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Henderson now on 1st and 10. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And down to the 16-yard line. A big hitter there. A first down gain of 26 yards. Boy, the offensive line there, that was a thing of beauty to watch them block.
I love how you give a little appreciation for those big guys up front, and well-deserved. But how about the execution behind them? You can see the hours of practice that have gone into it. Great pocket by the running back. Quarterback puts it right in the perfect spot. Great mesh point by them. The timing on point. The run even better.
From the red zone now, Stafford completes it to Fant on the right side. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
We're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet. Check 13. Check 13. Patchy. White.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
32. 80 weapon.
Out of the gun, Stafford. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. DK Metcalf. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Lutz with the extra point, and we are tied at 14. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
We're at 180. We're at 80. Come on. 80 hot.
Rivers on first down. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Right there on the coverage to knock that ball away was Mike Hughes.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
And now running right through it. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're march off another 15 against your squad.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Play action now. Rivers. Outright, this is Boyle, the tight end. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag. But you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Throwing, Rivers. He finds Dorsett. It's complete. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. And, yes, they want the points, so they will decline the penalty. No question there.
You don't think they spent a couple of seconds mulling over what the penalty would do for them?
I don't even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Now Bailey to tack on the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-14. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and the Falcons score to cap it off. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
A carry by Henderson to start the drive.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
From the gun again to Henderson. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. In on the tackle there, Luke Kuechly.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Stafford. Left side here taken in by Metcalf. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff.
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. This is the correct call.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
You ain't doing nothing today.
To throw on 2nd down is Stafford. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the pass incomplete in the end zone, but contact and pass interference.
And now where does the ball get placed?
At the 1-yard line.
1-yard line. They gave up excellent real estate on that one. That's going to work really, really well for the guys who threw it.
They'll look to run with Henderson, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I don't know if there's any other way to put it, but that play was blown up right from the snap. How about the guys on the defensive side of the ball? It's almost like they were in the offensive huddle.
Yeah, it's one thing to stand him up from that 1-yard line. Pushing him back to the 5, though. Wow.
Yeah, I like what you just said there. Not just stand them up, but end up making a play on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
One back in the game. That's Jones, 2nd and goal. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Calvin Ridley, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far and fun to watch. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the score as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Johnson on the counter. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
These two teams all tied after 1. Ready for the 2nd quarter, and it's our visitors with the football. They've got a 3rd down and a yard to start things out. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Ross on the return. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10.
Set, 59, 280. Come on, kill. Hey, easy.
They'll run with Henderson here to begin the drive. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Let's go.
15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Watch the pass. Hurry.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Set, 180. I'm coming after you.
On 2nd and 11 now. Stafford. That's Isabella open on the right side. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming for you, son. Shoot.
Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. Mike Pennell with the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Stafford. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch it. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Stafford is going to fire one deep, middle of the... And this is going to be intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. They go play action. Rivers. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it. An in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
Rivers fighting through pressure. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. Our first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from Green Bay. Early lead in that one for the Packers. Patrick Mahomes, a single touchdown pass to this point in that one. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But and the ball is knocked out, and the Falcons grab it. He's still fighting forward. The big fella. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. And a great return here gets us one all the way down to the 26-yard line. And how about the big boys showing off the wheels?
Let's face it. Anybody who watches a game, even if it goes against your team, when there's a big man with the football, everyone locks in.
All eyes.
Everyone locks in, and the rumbling, you can feel it all the way to the upper reaches of the stands.
And here now come the Falcons. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Rivers now after the fumble recovery. That's caught left side by the tight end Boyle. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
I know exactly what's going to be said about that play from the defensive perspective.
What's that?
That's why I tell all you guys we need more than one tackler to the ball. He broke the first tackle. Luckily enough, there were more people there to get him down.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
And able to find Dorsett. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. A 4th touchdown pass there for Phillip Rivers. And the Falcons have broken our tie. He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Bailey got the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. And that'll be incomplete.
Pass interference.
We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here we go, D. Here
On 2nd and 9, Stafford. And that is incomplete. The intended target was Calvin Ridley, and it's 3rd down.
A pretty rocky start in this game for the guy throwing the ball. Already has thrown 1 interception. Almost threw a second one right there. All he's doing right now is giving the defense a whole lot of confidence.
That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Thought they were going to force a 4th down. Instead, P.I. gives them the first.
And that's frustrating because you think you've taken them really deep into the count, haven't you? Instead, you've got to start all over. That can really, really be demoralizing.
They'll run on 1st down. Henderson. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Watch the boot.
Play action. Stafford. Over the middle. That's hauled in by Isabella. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Well, they weren't able to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter is a good running back dive play.
Here's Stafford. The quick slant caught. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry? Ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They'll run it with Hill. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. And one of my favorite coaches, you say, son, if you can darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
Now here's Hill, and he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Taysom Hill, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And nothing special there. They showed they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight-ahead power, and they got it done.
Lutz good on the extra point. And we've got a tie game here in a back-and-forth first half. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. So right back to square one, tied at 28 as he kicks it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep.
Come on now, let's go.
So out come the Falcons now. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
The Falcons and Saints, they aren't strangers to one another. That's no secret. They were founded 1 year apart back in the 60s. Their first meeting in 1967. And neither franchise had much success through the 70s and 80s, but boy, has that changed in recent memory. And the Falcons holding the all-time series advantage 52-48. And one of the more memorable matchups, certainly between the two teams, September of 2006. It was a reopening of the Superdome following the devastation from Hurricane Katrina the year prior. The Saints winning that one 23-3. And now they meet here in this one as part of the NFL 100 series. Rivers now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. To the air again here, Rivers. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
I know we're just in the 2nd quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's his 2nd drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in. And that'll set him back 5. So after the penalty, heading in the wrong direction, 2nd and 15. Again, it's Rivers. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it was real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. It would have been a great play if he'd been able to hold that one in.
And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Atlanta. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Now here's Ross. 51 yards on the punt there. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. You're under 30 seconds to go. Field position not great. Time to call it a half, wouldn't you say?
Well, you know we all have that little extra gene that says let's push the envelope a little bit, right? What needs to be going through the play caller's mind right now, a potential fumbled snap that can get returned, a strip sack that can get returned, right? Any of those types of plays, that should be a deterrent to calling something that could get you in big trouble.
And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you two in a minute, but first, let's take a spin around the NFL and see what's going on here in week number 10. We'll begin up at legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay, and it's the Packers who are out in front in the second quarter. Patrick Mahomes has thrown a touchdown pass there. From there, we'll head to Cincinnati to check on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And at this point, they trail the visiting Baltimore Ravens. Nick Foles with a couple of touchdown passes. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And they've got the lead over the visiting Arizona Cardinals. Julio Jones, a touchdown reception. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? To find out, we give it back to our commentator, Brandon Gotten and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game. We'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Gotta wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You've got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Stafford. No, he doesn't have it. Maybe some alligator arms there going over the middle. 3rd down. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
Able to find Isabella. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. That catch puts him right at 100 yards receiving now, and it also gives him a first down. On first down, it's Henderson. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. And he's going to be down at the 35, gain of 7.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. To throw is Stafford. Throw left side, complete to Isabella. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
You have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Call that a gain of 11.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Hey, lady! Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now. Big 20.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And now a pass dumped off to his running back. 16 yards, a first down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
They'll try to pound it in with Hill. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that.
And he's got it. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. 4th touchdown pass of the game for Matthew Stafford. And the Saints have moved out in front. So they go play action, 3 tight ends out there in the heavy set.
Well, they showed everything that suggested running play. Just what you mentioned, 3 tight ends, heavy formation, able to go play action off of it because if you're a defender, you're thinking it's a running play with that much beef on the field.
But they passed it, and they got 6 out of it. Lutz with the extra point, and they will take a 7-point lead. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So we get set to start this third quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now. And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
Rivers now to throw on first down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Cameron Meredith, the intended target. And now it's second down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. To throw again. Rivers. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. Now Rivers. And that's incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here's Brian Anger now. He's been terrific so far. This is taken at the 18. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. He has been on his A game. We're in the third quarter. He's already in search of touchdown pass number 5.
He's played so well that it's hard for me to take my eyes off of him, even when he's not on the field. I keep finding him on the bench in between series, wondering what he's going to do next. This has been a blast to watch him play the position.
Yeah, he's been spectacular with those 4 touchdown passes. On 2nd and 9, Stafford. This one caught by Ridley. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Well, he may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
On 2nd down, Johnson. Still on his feet and shedding his way forward. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Rivers now. And incomplete. Former Buckeye first-rounder Garyon Conley there to knock that away.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. That's caught by Meredith right side. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Rivers now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Rivers again. And his throw is incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. Rivers incomplete on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll hand it off now. Johnson fighting through, and he's got space. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
This has been an up-and-down, back-and-forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
Rivers on 3rd and 2. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. Really solid effort for him right now. Third quarter, already 4 touchdown passes. How many can he get here?
That remains to be seen, but I know one thing. You and I will be here to watch. And I'm not going anywhere. With what he's doing in this contest, I'm not missing a minute of it. This guy's been spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team game, but sometimes these individual performances are fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes they just kind of come to the front, despite the fact, as you said, we know it's all about the team. But the way he's playing, he's trying to make his team win on his back.
Yeah, it's been exciting. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
Partner, the way this offense has marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on third down, isn't it?
Yeah, they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out. Here's Sam Martin now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. If you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes a better punter may actually determine the outcome.
That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, 1st down. They had 3 tight ends in on that set, and they were really good at blocking for their running back.
And give them a lot of credit because in football nowadays, tight ends coming out of college often don't block very often. These guys have really developed into superior blockers, and that's why they use them in this formation so often.
And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. A good pickup of 6 there on 1st down.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Rivers. Left side, it's Dorsett. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Here's Rivers. Caught on the right side by Dorsett. 16 yards, a 1st down.
Here we go.
And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll throw again. Rivers to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that at just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the bat.
And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Kerryon Johnson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons have cut it to within a score. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Extra point up and good by Bailey. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And the touchdown run came from Kerryon Johnson to cap things off. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They'll run on 1st down. Henderson. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Eddie Pleasant in on the stop. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
And that drop will cause a little bit of angst for the play caller because you know they've worked all week game planning and flexing the tight end out and making him a matchup issue for the defense. They had what they wanted, and he drops the ball.
Man, just couldn't hang on to the slant. The Saints on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. 43 yards on the punt, 7-yard return, and out will come the offense as they take over. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. Things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here, and I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
Rivers on 1st down. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 23 yards on the play. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I'm going to keep firing.
Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. The catch and run, good for 18 and a 1st down.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Throwing Rivers. Over the middle, Dorsett. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Muhammad Wilkerson sacks him that time, coming in off the edge.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. No.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Mike Hughes came crashing in that time, got the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. From the gun, Rivers. Oh, he can't hang on to it. Almost intercepted. They would have loved the first pick of the game there, but at least it does get them to fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. I tell you, the life of a kicker. He has not been called on the entire game. He's over there by the net, but they send him out here in the fourth quarter and say, hey, go tie the game, will you? And guess what? He comes through.
I just don't know how they do it. I really don't. These cats are a different breed from you and me. That's a pressure kick, but that one was never in doubt.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 16 yards, a first down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
On first down, it's Henderson pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
From just shy of midfield, Stafford. Oh, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his 2nd there.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. The Saints on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 7.
Alert! Alert!
From the gun, here's Stafford. He's going to fire one deep. That's caught inside the 20. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory.
Interference. Defense.
So with a big gainer anyways, they'll go ahead and take that instead of the pass interference call.
They didn't need the penalty. It would have been different, right, if they had somehow lost some yardage somewhere, but they did not. Gained all they could, down at the spot of the foul. Nothing to be gained by taking the penalty.
A field goal could get them the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal.
Let's go, defense. Here we go. Watch twins. Watch twins.
They'll run here with Henderson. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal.
Hey, 5-0. Zebra.
Again, it's Henderson. And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes up. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. Rivers. Dorsett's got it. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 43 yards.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them the lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Running from the gun, Johnson. They'll get to him just inside the 15-yard line. And even after that fancy footwork we saw, a good job defensively to recover. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
Rivers. And that is incomplete.
Just looking at it from a defensive perspective, when you break the huddle in the red zone, tight end is one of the guys you've got to key on because quarterbacks want the ball in their hands fast in this position, and they want to get it to someone. And in this case, he had the play. They just didn't complete it.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
And Bailey able to knock it through. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. Well, you talk about clutch. That one was right down Broadway, and this game's all even here in the fourth.
Yeah, he didn't leave any doubt, did he? Good snap, good hold, dead center. Almost like a big-time golfer in a major, firing at a pin from the fairway, trying to win the tournament going down the stretch.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. The Saints coming out now to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
toe
that.
Bashed it.
Super toe.
So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They've got a second down now as they search for a score to break this tie. Again, it's Henderson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
They'll run with Henderson. Now it looks like we'll get a timeout as there's a Saints player down here on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Strong right, strong right, strong right. We got 4. We got 4. Check safety, check safety.
Now Stafford. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And mark him down all the way inside the Atlanta 20. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down.
Hey, give me radar. Hey, turn it up. Hey, easy. Slip.
Again, this to Jones. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They'll go again to Jones. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Falcons going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Saints on 3rd down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 9. They'll try the right side with Jones. And this one goes nowhere, losing yardage back at the 22. Boy, that's a 5-yard loss. 4th down now. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to take the lead here in the final minute. And it's no good. Lutz pulled it. And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the 4th. So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little. And when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate. And in doing so, sent this one off target.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Always got some breathing room. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 43 yards. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ball game.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. On first down, it's Samuels. And he stopped immediately there. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th.
Factory 90, 190, 54, 189, 75.
On second down, Samuels. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Down to 7 seconds now. 6. Throwing, Rivers. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And I don't think he got there. No. He's short by maybe a foot. Maybe. Call it 4th and inches. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Mike 52, Mike 52. Hey, Mike 52.
First throw in overtime for Stanford. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That'll put him up over 160 yards receiving now for the game. They can't seem to stop him. They go back to that well. He's had a great game. Defensively, they haven't been able to stop him. Same thing here in overtime.
And sometimes that goes to the play caller's ego, because a lot of times you have so many different plays you want to call, but when you spot a matchup that's working for you or a player that has the hot hand, keep giving it to them. That tells me you're mature as a play caller, and it's working for them in overtime. Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
2nd and 10, Stafford again. And he comes back with one complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 22 yards there, a first down. He's padding his already great numbers here in overtime. More importantly, though, moving his guys downfield.
And I think that's exactly what's going through his head right now. Moving them downfield, putting them in a position to win the game. The stats, that's for the fantasy guys. I know they're enjoying that show. I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Off of play action. Here's Stafford. Wide open receiver complete. And they're working inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. So on that play, defense was in the zone. They ran a crossing route offensively, but the defense there, you got to be good with communication, don't you?
You certainly do, and it's not something that is really evident when you watch it on the screen. But everyone's talking, communicating, pointing, and it keeps you from chasing receivers because you have a specific zone you have to cover. When a receiver's in your zone and he crosses to another one, you got to let your guy know. They got a completion there, but I like the discipline they're showing to stay in their proper areas and then make the tackle.
A gain of 8 there on the 8th play of the drive. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for New Orleans, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, the loss will drop them to 6-3 now on the year. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers.
Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky, I do my dance, jump in the stands, no man up hands. I dealt with the hands, thought he could guard me. I ruin they plans, I do what I want, they do what they can. Got it on smash, foot on the gas. I will not crash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash. 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, 100-yard dash, yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. Stay on attack when they tackle like damager. They react and play it back on the camera. Hot boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Eat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual. I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. Big jobs, I don't think they can handle this. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerge victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears, is glorious. I remember when they always ignoring us. Dash, got it on smash, full of the gas. I will not crash, they will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone, watch me celebrate. I'm cocky.